EA Sports coverage of the NFL finds us at Bank of America Stadium in Uptown Charlotte. The kicker, Brandon Aubrey, is out to get this one started. And off we go from Uptown Charlotte. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Young off the play fake. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game. A lot of talk the other day about them wanting to quiet this home crowd early and often. Very first play of the game, they do just that.
You're exactly right about that, because that's often a conversation when you go on the road and you travel. Hey, let's take the crowd out of it. What a great way of doing so by putting the quarterback on the deck.
Throwing on 2nd and long. Young, they'll set up the screen here for Hubbard.
I like the thinking there, because right after a sack, it can be a great time to call for a screen to your running back and use the eagerness of the defense against them. Able to gain some positive yards out of this one and make things a little bit easier for them on 3rd down.
And this opening drive not going to plan. This is now 3rd and 13. Now here's Young. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he is going to have a Panthers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. Well, on 3rd down, he wanted to go to one of his most dependable targets, and that's who he found, his tight end there, to pick up the first, Charles.
And you use the proper word there, dependable, and sometimes spectacular, because tight ends nowadays, they can do it all. But they're the guys you trust, especially across the middle of the field where there's traffic. He delivers, and they pick up nice yardage.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Young to throw it. A short throw hauled in by Trimble. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it's 2nd down. But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go that sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well drilled, well prepared, and excited to start this game.
That one complete till again. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 29-yard line. 15 yards there on the catch and run. We got to like what you're seeing from this offense here on the first drive. A nice sustained series to begin the game, and it will continue after picking up another first there.
Would you say the word methodical comes to mind? I love the execution. I love what they're doing on this drive. They're controlling the ball, controlling the game, controlling the clock.
Knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Balled at the 26, 2nd and 7. It's Young off play action. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. And he'll take this into the end zone. Touchdown, Carolina. Adam Thielen, 26 yards. And the Panthers will jump on top with the game's first score here this afternoon. Well, they spoke about the importance of getting off to a good start, and they're on their first drive, Charles, into the end zone for the touchdown.
And what an advantage for them. They're already clicking one drive in, didn't need to wait to get up to full speed. We had heard about the extra time they'd put in with each other, trying to learn each other's skills, what they like, the whole deal, and it paid off early in this one. I would expect them to keep firing on the next drive and keep that connection going.
The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away. Oh, a good return up past the 30. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Cowboys about set to take over on offense. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Josie Jewell, the linebacker, getting the sack.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Out of the gun. Here's Prescott. Pass complete. George Pickens with it. And he takes it all the way down to the 32. A big play here for Dallas. 41 yards.
Well, as my dad would say sometimes, I'm just scratching my head here trying to figure out what was going on there defensively. How did you lose him in the middle of the field? If you're going to lose a receiver, make sure it's someone on the short side of things, not deep downfield, that can hurt your defense.
Eluding the pressure right. And he's down into the red zone at the 16 after a gain of 16. 1st and 10.
I think the last two plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know he can throw the football, but how about his use of legs as well? What we call those broken plays, you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those two that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. And he'll get positive yardage there as he'll be touched down. Ball on the 8, 2nd and 2. They'll run here, the former Longhorn with it. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. An 8-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys respond to that opening drive touchdown with one of their own.
This has a feeling of a back-and-forth game, and we've seen that in evidence already with each of these teams' opening drives. This is what you call a quick answer, as they go down the field in no time flat and finish with a touchdown run.
Now the extra point up and good by Aubrey. And we are tied at 7. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. The Panthers coming back out onto the field for their second drive. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And, partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
And because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
Well, that turned out better than most of the passes he could have thrown on that snap. The coverage downfield was excellent, but the containment close to home left him a backdoor escape, and they paid dearly for not locking up.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Off the play fake, Young. And he works it past the 30, almost to the 25. A nifty bit of scrambling there. 12 yards, first down.
I can't be sure how much of that was planned pre-snap, but it certainly opens up some avenues for their offense. And if he can stay a threat to break off those kind of runs, it'll pull defenders away from coverage and open up some choice throwing lanes for him moving forward.
Throw left side on target to Thielen. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 10 more there and another first down.
Well, it certainly doesn't matter if it's been through the air like on this play or on the ground. I don't know what's going on with this defense. In a sense, they've been AWOL on this drive so far. 3 plays, 3 first downs given up. They've got to find answers, and they've got to find them quick.
A give up the middle, Hubbard. Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Now a 2nd and 6. Young will set to throw. Now the pressure gets there, and he goes down just inside the 20 at the 19. Micah Parsons just would not be denied. That's a loss of 7.
Yeah, some real defensive resistance there, saying not so fast to a good drive. They had marched to the end zone the last time out.
3rd down and 13. Thielen going to go in motion right. Looking to throw, Young. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he's going to come up well shy of the first here as the tackle's made right around the 12. A gain of 8 there on the play. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game. But it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. 3rd down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go and make the tackle right away.
Well, in a close game like this, obviously you want the touchdown, but certainly they will take the 3.
And they'll be okay with that, but let's throw a little credit to the defense as well. And I'm just glad this doesn't come down to a debate, right? Which side won, partner? Because the defense, hey, we didn't give up a touchdown. The offense, hey, we put 3 on the board. Either way you look at it, I think both sides gained something out of that drive.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And able to get this out to the 25. 2nd drive forthcoming here for the Dallas Cowboys. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. He finds Pickens over the middle. He'll be dropped after a gain of about 6 across the 30 to the 31.
And I think he just wanted to give the ball to one of his playmakers to see if they can make something happen, but he ends up throwing into a crowded area. And after the catch, he isn't able to do much with it.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Prescott from the gun. This throw left side is caught by Tolbert. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. 13 yards on his first catch. It's a 1st down as well.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Now a Carolina native, former Tar Heel, it's Javonte Williams. It's a pretty strong running there as he'll take this across the 50 and down to the 44. 11 more yards that go around, a 1st down as well.
Partner, we always talk about how important 3rd down is, but I think 1st down is equally important because everything comes off of that play. If the defense wins the down, they are able to attack. If the offense wins the down, they might go faster, do other things, and change things up. That big play right there allows this offense to really get in gear.
So roughing the passer call is accepted, and this officiating crew not making very many friends here with this crowd.
Yeah, we all know that everyone accuses the officials of kind of playing to the home team, but not in this case. They're just trying to administer the game the way it's supposed to be. That drew the flag.
So now a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 after roughing the passer. Play action now, Prescott. That is caught by Lamb. And he'll be out of bounds about a half to a full yard shy of the 5. Another strong gain on the last 2 plays. They've moved it a combined 33 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Escaping the pressure right. And he is into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Dak Prescott, a 6-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys have moved out in front. So a quarterback scramble, certainly a pass play, but he saw something, tucked it, and got in the end zone.
A lot of quarterbacks, when they scramble, they're scrambling to create more time to throw the ball downfield. In this situation, as you noted, he tucked it and took off. Great play by him.
And the kick makes it through, but flags come flying in as well. It appears we're going to get a roughing call tacked on. After the roughing penalty on the PAT, they'll kick off from 15 yards further upfield. And no run back here. That's going to be a touchback, and we'll bring it out to the 30-yard line. Carolina getting set to take the field. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it. Forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. So give them 5 yards there on the pitch and catch, and that'll bring up second down. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. Second quarter now from Charlotte, and it's the Panthers with the football. Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. As they've got it as we resume action. Young to throw it. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. Mozzie Smith, he fought through to record the sack. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles, and that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball out of his hands a lot quicker.
A short throw hauled in by Trimble. The result, only 4 yards there on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down.
Excellent job there defensively. Gave up the underneath to the tight end on 3rd down, and they made sure that they did their job. Got him on the ground and prevented him picking up a 1st down.
Now the punter, Sam Martin, called on to kick it away here. Deep to return is Kevontae Turpin. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return, and out will come the offense as they take over. The Dallas offense back out onto the field. Well, this offense looks like they have a little extra pep in their step as they take the field here for drive number 3, because remember, Charles, drives 1 and 2 both ended in the end zone.
Yeah, and right now they've just got to be careful not to lean into overconfidence because every drive has a life of its own. But I like the way that they've started. The way that they're going about doing things right now, they've got a chance for that 3rd consecutive touchdown, and that would be a crushing blow to the defense.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one, picking up the 1st, getting 14 yards on the scramble. From the gun, it's a run for Williams. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 43 yards rushing for him now at his first 2 carries of the ball game. They went with the nickel look defensively, so they had 5 defensive backs in there. Didn't help them stop the run.
Yeah, I love that, the nickel look. 5 cents, 5 DBs. But what also happens then? You take a big body off the field in order to insert that guy. So you're taking a big off for a little. And oftentimes you can run the football effectively against that defense.
And his throw's going to be incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
2nd and 10. Here's Prescott. Under pressure, and down he goes. They sack him back at the 36. They'll wind up losing a full 9 yards here on the sack. Now it's 3rd down.
They've gobbled up over 30 yards of turf so far, but a sack knocks them backwards. And that interrupts the momentum they were building. Good opportunity for the defense to escape this drive before they get to the end zone.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the pressure gets to him again. Patrick Jones providing a little deja vu, back-to-back sacks, and now they're staring at a 4th and long.
And this is a quarterback who's already had success on the ground in this first half, but this time they're able to hem him in.
And it's always different when you rush a mobile quarterback as opposed to a guy you know will be right back in the pocket. In this case, you got to make sure the inside pressure and the outside pressure match, and maybe even a second wave to make sure if he squirts free, you've got someone to tackle him. Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it, and this one winds up no good.
Well, this offense got to be loving this. After the long missed field goal, they'll take over on the other side of the 50, 1st and 10. Young. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
Normally you think the tight end's going to be able to catch the football and handle that contact, but in this case, maybe a little too much target to hit. That one was timed well. Incomplete.
Young's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10.
He's going to try and take off with it.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. He'll get 9 yards on the keeper there, but it's still going to leave him with a 3rd and 1.
Now that's what he can do, when he keeps the football. It's not a huge gain, but it shows how hard it can be to stop him.
Yeah, and I thought the defense had that one pretty well contained, and in fact, they probably came up and felt pretty good about what they did. Then they looked up and realized he still got good yardage out of it. He's a tough guy to stop.
And he will be very close to a 1st down, but I see the closed fist of the referee, and that means 4th down.
Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
They'll run for it. It's Hubbard.
And he's able to get it to the 33. Good enough for a 1st down. Good spot on the field to go for it. Kind of no man's land, as they call it, and it worked out.
Yeah, they call it no man's land because your punter is telling you it's too short. I'm just going to punt it into the end zone. Your field goal kicker might give you a little raised eyebrow, might be too far for the field goal, so it gives you a great chance to go for it. Personally, if you have those tendencies to be aggressive as a head coach, you kind of like this spot because it gives you the decision to go ahead and go for it when you want to anyway.
The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12.
And now at this point in the first half, you've got to realize as an offense, you're not going to get it all back in one fell swoop. This is going to be about sustained drives and making sure you finish with points. And that's a good throw there for a 1st down.
Young. That caught by Tremble. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
I know the halftime's approaching, but I don't think he's going to want to take a break. That's his 5th catch.
Yeah, they've really been targeting the tight end.
Now 2nd and 3. Now a give. It's Hubbard going left.
And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. It's a 10-yard gain there to set him up 1st and goal.
Well, as we've learned over the years, just because a guy plays left tackle doesn't mean he doesn't have run-blocking abilities, and we just saw it there. Controlled the line of scrimmage, created a big gain.
That's kind of a bonus. He's there to protect that high value that you have back under center, but he creates space in the run game.
Yeah, not only can he dance, he can mash, too.
Dowdle will get about halfway there as he takes this from the 4 down to the 2.
It's a gain of a couple, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Good first step there defensively, but they're still knocking on the doorstep, so maybe another run here?
I think so. And one of my favorite coaches used to say, son, if you can darn near lay down near the end zone and get in, give me my best power running play with my best back right now.
Hubbard will take this one in. Touchdown, Carolina.
A solid blocking up front from the guys on the offensive line allowed him to get in for the touchdown.
Yeah, some might say that the guys on the offensive line were in concert. I used to have a coach who called it marrying up, meaning when you get on a guy, you just stay right there, and each guy has his own assignment. That allowed the runner to make the big move towards the end zone.
Point after, right down the middle, and it's now 17-14. The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away.
Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And able to break this out all the way to the 38-yard line. Great return.
So out come the Cowboys now as their offense gets set to take over. And the last time that they were on the field, a little demoralizing. Missed field goal. You always feel like you want to get it in the end zone, but then, oh, well, at least we're going to get 3. Didn't go through the goalpost, though.
It does test the mental processes of a team, though, doesn't it? Because when you miss a field goal, it's amazing how fast they want to turn on the guy kicking the ball. But you need to keep his confidence up, because how many times have we seen games where it comes down to a stretch, and guess what? You need that guy to make the big kick for your team to move on or to win a game. Make sure you keep him happy. Make sure you keep him comfortable.
I'm sure you always treated the kicker nicely, though, right?
You know, truthfully, I did.
Good.
I always did, because those guys, they won us a whole lot of games.
Yeah, he'll work free from 1 tackle, but that's about all as he's taken down.
4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a 3rd and about 4 more for a 1st.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Prescott from the gun on 3rd.
That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, a pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least it'll be 4th down.
Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now, I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
Anger is on to punt, and he gets this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Here's the Carolina offense as they get ready to take over here. That last drive, it was a good mix. Run, pass, defense on their toes.
And what really helps out in a big way is when you're doing the run-pass mix and everything's working, that means that they're guessing wrong every time on defense. They think you're going to pass when you run and vice versa. I would continue that, and when they finally draw a bead on you, maybe you mix it up a little play action and throw the ball.
And will they maintain that balance? Time to find out. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
A big hole there. How about him handling the point of attack? Just positioning himself so that run could go right off of his backside and deep into the secondary.
They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Now Young. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
He came through well with a nice pass breakup there. Fortunate that he was on the spot. He's the only guy left to prevent the 1st down.
Young's incompletion on 1st down leads to a 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw here.
They'll find McMillan here.
And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. His first catch of the game, good for 11 and a 1st down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. And he stopped immediately there. And that time the tackle by Malik Hooker.
When you're trying to create space for your running back, the first thought is how physical is the offensive line. Sometimes it's just positioning. On that play, it didn't matter about positioning or being physical. The defensive front, they out-leveraged them and won the battle.
Thielen going to go in motion right.
And they just get the play off. Now Young.
A short throw hauled in by Trimble.
So the completion good for just 3. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
The completion was given up, but that's why you play zone defense, so that you can have people around the ball when it's caught, and you don't give up much run after the catch.
Throwing, Young.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have a Panthers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
From the shotgun, it's Young. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And it'll be 2nd down. Young to throw it. And he can't find anywhere to go with it. And he goes down. Credit that sack to Dante Fowler Jr.
So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Play number 9 on the drive coming up, and they need 9 yards on 3rd down. Young now from the 50.
They'll set up the screen here for Hubbard.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. 3 yards all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Boy, that was certainly well read defensively, and the key to any screenplay is space to work, and there was none to be found there, and they tackle him for just a short gain.
Here's Sam Martin now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And well done here. That one will kick out of bounds at about the 8-yard line.
And the Cowboys going to go on offense one final time in this first half. And they'll begin inside their own 10, so field position certainly not in their favor here.
Likely time for one final snap as they start out 1st and 10. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And an anxious moment or two there, but they do get him down. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. A field goal the difference. 17-14 is the score. Back underway here now in this 3rd quarter. And a good return as he'll be stopped just shy of the 30-yard line. Out come the Cowboys now as they'll go on offense first here in this 3rd quarter.
Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the 3rd quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. That goes for a gain of 31.
Well, partner, I'm not sure how this drive's going to end, but how about the way they flip field position there? A nice attacking play. They picked up a heck of a chunk of yardage.
So from Panther territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. Wide open receiver complete. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A very solid gain of 27.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
And the D not yielding much there. He's only going to get a yard to about the 2.
Good work there, holding him out on first down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
Williams again. But he will go backwards as he stopped for a loss.
Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down.
And now 3rd and goal coming up, the loss on 2nd down. That just means this crowd's going to get even louder, and they'll get a little bit of extra help from the defenders as they exhort them to join them in the effort.
Prescott on 3rd and goal.
And this ball is caught by Lamb. Touchdown, Dallas.
It's a 6-yard touchdown pass.
And the Cowboys have taken the lead as they go right down the field and score on the opening drive of the second half.
On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he'll be tackled just shy of the 25.
The Panthers offense now, they head back on the field for their first possession of the second half.
And, Charles, it feels like we're set up for a good second half here. Came out of the locker room, 1-score game. Now the lead has already changed hands. Well, this offense, they've got an opportunity right now to take that lead right back.
Yeah, and it feels like you're going back and forth almost a little bit like a tennis match, right? And we're just, our heads just keep moving. Which side has it? Which side's going to score? How are they going to go out doing it? A little bit of a challenge for each side trying to match each other.
That to the sideline and incomplete. Boy, they're going to say there's a receiver in the area. That was close to grounding, but it's 2nd down.
Well, if you're going to give out a little applause on that play, it has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the first row.
And he'll work his way across the 30 to the 32.
42 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
After another impressive run, the question has to be asked, how do you slow these guys down running the football? I think they're going to try and get more people to the point of attack, try and get more people to the line of scrimmage, almost use a variety of run blitzes in order to try and get it done.
Young now. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
Here's Sam Martin now as he's on to punt for Carolina. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Yeah, call it 38 yards on the punt, no return.
And they will take over 1st and 10.
Throwing, Prescott. Throwing the out route, incomplete. It's Ferguson. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down.
And his play caller does a nice job of giving him an easy throw to start this drive, and he takes advantage of it. The completion sets up a manageable 2nd down.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's 2nd and a yard.
Now we give up the middle to Williams. And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the 1st down.
Now Prescott. Incomplete.
And when you're in a 1-score game in the 2nd half, now's not the time to force the football into places where you shouldn't. And that's a smart decision to just get that one out of there.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. To throw is Prescott.
He'll find Lamb. That's complete.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
Finding Tolbert here over the middle. And he will have a Cowboys 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Whenever we talk about moving the sticks and controlling the football, there's a great example right there. Those are the 3rd downs you need to convert to win football games. We're in the 3rd quarter of this one, and this is a tight one. In order to maintain pace, keep the ball away from the other team, and put points on the board, those are the plays they need to continue to convert.
And that is incomplete. Wow, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
He already came through for them on this drive. No surprise that they were hoping he could do it again.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Play fake. Here's Prescott. He'll buy some time right. And they're going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Panthers' 29-yard line. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Remember, Brandon, he ran for a touchdown earlier, so his decision to go ahead and tuck it and go again turned out to be a wise one.
And the decision is what is important here. He has made some good decisions on when to tuck it and go. Prescott off play action.
He'll find Lamb crossing the formation for the catch.
And they do get him down, but not before he's able to slip it inside the 5-yard line.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
On 1st down, it's Blue. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the afternoon as his guys are able to extend their lead.
Well, fair to say they've got something here in this rookie running back, and he's in for the 2nd time in the ball game.
And, Brandon, it's a position where there's often a lot of turnover, a lot of competition at that spot. But he's proven to them that he wants to be the bell cow guy that his franchise can rely on.
Aubrey good with a PAT.
And that pushes the lead up to 11.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Now the Panthers offense, they get set to come back onto the field. Charles, a very uninspired effort. The last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Here's Young.
They'll run the screen with Hubbard.
And he's going to lose yardage and be backed up to the 25. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me. Good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And now that sets up 3rd and 2.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. At 5 yards on the play there, as the drive will continue.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
Looking to throw, Young.
He'll get this to his running back, Dowdle.
And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. 11 yards and a Panther first down.
And a nice gain and a broken tackle along the way, and really we shouldn't be surprised, should we? That's what runners do, especially the best ones. They break tackles and gain extra yardage.
It's Young off play action. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Well, he's proven real effective running the football. No one open, don't force it. Just get what you can, and that's what he's done very well in this game.
From the 42-yard line, here's 2nd down and 3. Straight ahead with Hubbard. And he'll follow his blockers there all the way down to the 23-yard line. 66 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Interior of that line blocked really well on that run, but also the 2 tight ends, they blocked well too.
Not only have they scouted the line of scrimmage, with their agility, they can get upfield and hit moving targets like linebackers, defensive backs. They do a really good job helping out the running game.
Now a quick throw there, but it's going to be incomplete.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
2nd and 10 now, 3rd quarter from Charlotte.
Here's Young from the shotgun. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
3rd down, Young from the gun.
A quick throw there is incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow them to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let them get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. And this one is right through. And that'll make this an 8-point game.
So 3 points, maybe not a grand prize at this stage, but it does get them back within one score.
It certainly does, because now they stay within shouting distance. So that means everyone on your sideline stays engaged in this game. They know they still have a shot.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away.
And a nice return sets them up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
And out now come the Cowboys. They have played so strongly. You look at the scoreboard, you probably, with the way they played, you would think the margin would be a lot bigger, right?
You would. And in your experience, how many times have we run into coaches where they've talked about, hey, we just want to put it in the hands of our defense and have them win the game? In this case,
yeah, not the case.
Not at all. You want to put it in the hands of your offense, but you always feel better about seeing defense because you think defense is a constant and offense kind of comes and goes. Today, this game, no, they need their offense to stay on a really hot level.
They've been hot so far.
That play reminded me a lot of a former teammate of mine. We used to call him the trash man. His ability to sift through traffic and make plays was uncanny.
And that's exactly what you want from your Mike linebacker.
This is Lamb on the end around. Oh, and this one may need to go back to the drawing board. He's going to be swallowed up right away.
A yard in the wrong direction makes third down tougher. 3rd down and 9.
That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
And he'll be brought down at the 34, well short of the first down marker. Call it a gain of 3 on the play. And that'll bring up 4th down. Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Dallas. 44 on his first punt, and this is a good kick as well. And a fair catch signaled for and taken just outside the 20-yard line. And onto the field, here come the Panthers. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. And he'll be upended here after a pickup of 3, getting it out to the 25. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. And we're back now in Charlotte. It's the Panthers in possession of the football, but facing a deficit here as we get to the 4th and final quarter of play.
A running play. It's Dowdle.
And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. 11 yards and a Panther first down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
They couldn't ask for much more to this point in the second half. A gorgeous day, 1-score game. 1st and 10 here.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
This a 2nd and 8.
Now Young.
He'll drop that down to Hubbard.
And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. The Panthers have the first. It's a gain of 12.
And that's a much-needed first down right there. Look, they're down by 8. So logic says they don't have to get a touchdown out of this drive. But the way things are going, I don't know if I'd put it in the hands of my defense here. You might not get the ball back at all. So if a 4th down situation comes up, I'm thinking hard about going for it right here and right now.
Off the play fake, Young.
This is caught by McMillan.
And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one good for 20 on the catch and run.
Every now and then I can speak from experience because I do know as a defender it is awfully hard to stay with your man on these crossing routes because even if you don't get picked, there's a danger of being picked either by one of their receivers or maybe by your own defender. And on that play, that worked quite well.
And they'll run on first down with Hubbard. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
Got it here at the 29 on 2nd and 8. And they'll go again here with Hubbard. And he went backwards. He'll be down at the 30. Now they're staring at a 3rd and 8. That last play backwards a yard.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Young off the play fake. He's got his target. That's complete. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
With the kind of game he's had so far, you had to know that on 3rd down that they would be looking his way, and they did for big yardage and a 1st down. I think the defense fell asleep at the switch on that one. I would have doubled him, tripled him, anything to keep the ball out of his hands.
And that gets him 3 yards closer here as it brings up 2nd and goal.
Well, Brandon, we always know that once you score 1 touchdown,
want 2.
You're without a doubt. And so far today, he's got 1, but was denied as he tried to get the 2nd one.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Hubbard again. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
Well, as far as plays go, there's nothing to write home about on that one because that one gets him negative yardage. But if you do want to find a positive, he found a way to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
A lot of tired bodies on that field, but this is a big play, 3rd and goal. To throw, Young. He's going to go down. Sacked right around the 17. Micah Parsons picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon. This defense, they just continue to feast. 5 sacks now as a unit. It's been quite an afternoon getting to the quarterback.
And we're seeing it come from a variety of places as well. Sometimes just the guys up front and getting to him. Other times you add extra guys rushing the quarterback, twists and stunts. It's been a variety, and they've had no way of blocking him.
So he remains perfect, 3 for 3 in the field goal department.
And it's so important for any offense to have an ace like him up their sleeve, isn't it? Because now you know what his range is, and as soon as your offense gets there, you're pretty much counting on 3 points going up on the board.
The Carolina kick team is out there ready to go, and they kick this one away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. The offense for the Cowboys now working their way back onto the field. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. He'll set up to throw from the gun. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, 4th quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. And strong running there as he's across midfield and down to the 49.
80 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Line of scrimmage, the 43 on 2nd and 4.
Up the middle, it's Williams. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. And that's some good tackling there to keep him short of that yellow line.
Yeah, and defensively, all I'm thinking is that on that play, get me to 3rd down. Get me into a position where I can make one more play and get my defense off the field.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. They'll try and run for it. Here's Williams.
Oh, and that one well designed as he'll take this down to the 30-yard line.
11 yards and a Cowboy first down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with. And throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a first down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on 2nd down. They'll try to throw now. Prescott.
A short one there taken in by Ferguson.
Well, they just keep marching right along. First down on a pickup of 8 there.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Prescott to throw it. And he slides and covers up at the end as he's going to be able to pick up decent yardage. He'll get 5 out of the scramble. It's 2nd down.
His running ability has been an extra dimension of their game plan thus far. For once, though, he doesn't create any magic against the front that's prepared for him to try and take off.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on 2nd down. So the offense a little antsy. The flag comes out and a 5-yard penalty. The false start penalty, and now they're back to needing 10 yards on 2nd down. Now a shotgun handoff. Blue. And good downhill running. He's got 6 yards down to the 13.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. Looking to throw. Prescott.
Able to hit his target, Lamb.
And this will not be enough. On 3rd and 5, he only gets 3.
A short game that doesn't get him the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. The offense staying out. They're going to go on 4th and 2. They run. It's Williams. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown.
Javonte Williams.
A 10-yard touchdown run.
And the Cowboys get an important score there to extend their lead here in this 4th quarter. You get down this deep, Charles, you hate to settle for a field goal. They roll the dice on 4th down, really just hoping to get that first. But as it turns out, they take it all the way into the end zone.
You mentioned that they took a little bit of a gamble there. Think about it this way. Most teams throw the ball in this situation in the NFL, so they really gambled with a running play, and boy, did it pay off. Pay dirt.
So after the touchdown, Aubrey now to kick this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. So now Young and the Panthers down by 12. 2:18 on the clock. They have all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, but they need 2 scores. Throwing, Young. Now throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
And I can see the officials kind of looking at each other down there, silently wondering, does this meet the level of grounding? Fortunately, he did have a receiver in the area, but I have seen less obvious throwaways called as penalties.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now. They go play action. Young looking deep downfield. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
And they're at the point of the ball game now where they've got to take some chances. They've got to put the ball in the air and just see what happens. But this defense knows that all too well.
Boy, here's a big one. You can just feel it. This is 3rd down now. Young to throw it. And that is incomplete.
And I think we'll probably see them go for it here on 4th down. No reason not to. Down a couple of scores, they have to try and make something good happen.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. That's to his running back, complete. And now this is going to depend on the spot. And they say he's just short. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They give it to Williams, running right. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. The Cowboys offense heading back out and ready to go again. And a few kneel downs should come very close to finishing this one off, depending on whether or not we see any defensive timeouts. They still have 2, but using them would just be prolonging what's really already been decided. Got to figure the rush is going to be fierce again as they come up 2nd and 13.
They'll fake the jet sweep and instead give up the middle to Williams.
And now with 1:52 to go, we get another pause in the action. A timeout here defensively. Got to get to the 26 for a first. This is 3rd down. Now a man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Williams.
And he will have a Cowboys 1st down, and that should be that.
Now the Panthers going to signal for their 3rd and final timeout. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the 1st down. Game in hand, the offense takes the knee.
A 2nd and 11 from the 19.
They'll hand it off now. Williams. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, You can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
Prescott, he goes down to a knee, and that should just about do it.
Yeah, it's fun to kneel down in front of your home crowd, but when you go on the road, that band of brothers attitude, right, just us against the world, and get it done, how happy are they?
I remember a coach at a previous stop telling me, you get a win on the road, doesn't matter the opponent, get out of there like you stole something, and they did in this one. And his kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3, but clearly right now anything helps trying to salt this one away in the 4th.
Without a doubt, obviously a touchdown probably would have been the final nail to finish this thing off, but they still ate up time, got points. So while it's not mission accomplished, it's darn close.
So after the made field goal, back out is Aubrey to kick this away. And we will not have a return. They'll bring this to the 30. The possession of the football goes over to Carolina. This is just an exercise in futility. Do you even bother running a play here offensively?
I wouldn't, because now is not going to erase what's happened during the game. So after it's over, you're going to go to the film, find out where the game was really lost. But this is not a situation now where you're going to make up for anything.
We'll see what they do here. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game. Well, somebody lit a fire under that offense during the break, Charles. Remember, they trailed at intermission. They come out, they have the big second half, and that lifts them to the victory.
And Brandon, trailing at halftime, we always talk about teams making adjustments. You know what the best adjustments usually are? It's just executing better. Because the game plan you put in place at the beginning of the week often still holds. You don't have to make wholesale changes. You just have to do it a little bit better, a little cleaner. And they did that in the second half, and that led them to victory.
So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Till next time, we say so long from Charlotte.